So, welcome to the longer form moto vlog from Tassie Flowbike. So we're heading through Huonville at the moment. There's the Huon Valley Council just on the right where I work. We're going to head north out of Huonville toward Hobart. When we get to Grove, we'll take a left, followed by another left onto Crabtree Road. Head up into the top of Crabtree, and from there we'll turn onto the Jeffreys track. After the Jeffreys track, turn left onto the White Timber Trail and follow that all the way back to the track that comes off of the top of Judds Creek Road and then runs along the Russel Ridge. From there it heads out to Lonavale Road, and that'll about do me for today. I reckon that should be a 3 or 4 hour ride. Comes another rider. Howdy, buddy. Alright, 100. Takes her a little while to get there, but she's there. So, yeah, it's worth noting that the gearing changes I made on the bike, which make it so good off-road. Yeah, she's a bit buzzy when you're doing 100, so I tend not to do much highway stuff. I'll stick to the dirt, much more fun. Last time I did the Jeffreys track, it was winter time. Matter of fact, there was ice on a lot of the puddles. But yeah, she was pretty hard going. The four-wheel drivers have been getting up there, yeah, and they're allowed to. The only thing I'm a bit dirty on them is they get a kick, obviously, out of going through mud. And when you're taking something that big through the mud, it tends to make big ruts, and big ruts with deep water, they're not a lot of fun on the motorbike, because the other thing you find in them is the occasional log or rock that someone's thrown in there to give them a bit of extra traction and get them out of being stuck. And again, you don't see it coming, suddenly hit it with the bike and yeah, it gets a bit hairy. So we're more or less heading up into the foothills of the Wellington Ranges. So if you come into Hobart, the prominent mountain at the back is Mount Wellington, and the mountain range I'm about to head up by the Jeffreys track runs along as far as Mount Wellington, but closed to vehicle traffic, so it's not somewhere that I'm allowed to go on the bike. But that's okay, I've got plenty of trails to ride, I don't need to go through there. Got a car sitting hard up my arse, I'm not sure why. It's gonna pass me. It's not like I'm going slow, I'm doing. And the speed limit's 70. Oh, thanks for all the dust, dude. Yeah. That's real considerate of you, mate. Wait till we get to the gravel, then overtake me and leave me choking in dust. You cockwobble. These gravel roads, anyone who's in Australia would be familiar with this. You get to this time of year and the gravel on the top starts to get really loose. It's almost like driving on marble sometimes. Certainly used to cause my heart rate to come up a bit until I did some work on my front suspension, and the bike now grips much better in corners, particularly on this loose stuff. I wouldn't have thought the suspension would make as much difference as it did, but yeah, no, it really stabilised that. I was putting it down to tyres or steering geometry, but honestly, the front fork seemed to have a large amount to do with it, and that's without me doing any work on the damping. So we're nearly up to the Jeffreys track. I think I've been riding for around 10 minutes from home. Pretty easy, eh? I've got my Facebook page up and running now, so there's a Tassie Flybike Facebook page, and courtesy of that I'm starting to have a bit more interaction with a few of the people out there who like my videos. And the suggestion was they'd like to see more, that I was cutting them a bit short. And honestly, I just didn't think it was going to be that interesting to people. But anyway, they encouraged me to put one out there that was about 8 minutes long, and yeah, a lot of people have really enjoyed it. So hence today I am planning on doing yeah, quite a long one. Might even pump it out at half an hour or something. So I've tried to pick an interesting loop to keep everyone entertained. Then, by the way, you know, go to the Facebook page, like it, follow it. You'll find over time as I develop it, because I'm new to it, sort of avoided Facebook. I didn't like it, but anyway, it's got its advantages. So I've got quite a few pictures and stuff of the bike up there. You can also find videos on fishing and more adventure riding. Once I get past the houses here, I'm going to stop and just turn on the fork cam. Geez, rough old track, this one, but the base is good. Even in winter, you don't really slip around on it much. Now, this is a long climb, and the altitude by the time I get up here, pretty sure I'm up around 800 metres above sea level at its highest point. I'll put the map of it up later on from my smartphone app that I'm using, a thing called View Ranger, which I'm pretty happy with. That's quite a good, seems to be quite a good product. Record. There we go. All right, onward and upward. So it's not like you can't go fast on this track, it's just not that comfortable. It's pretty stony, which you can probably see from fork cam if it's even viewable. So, woohoo! This is a bit of fun, this one. Very steep, very steep. Starting to get a bit loose. Whew. So this has all been first gear stuff. Really hasn't been much of a chance to get up into a higher gear. Have a bit of a go now. Get a bit foggy in my helmet when I can get my hands off the handlebars for a second. Have to lift my visor up. Whew. That was an old man grunt. Oh, that's better. As you can probably tell by the note of the bike, I've just been climbing and climbing and climbing. Now, I was talking to a guy the other day. He said he did this track in a Harley Davidson Softail. I said he was fucking nuts. He did say he'd never do it again. He did say it was probably a moment of lunacy. I think he might be right. Because it's rough as guts. It's nice country, isn't it? You can tell we're starting to get a bit more alpine here. The trees are taller and their branches seem to start higher up. I don't know. Just something I've noticed. You get into that alpine stuff, they seem to be a lot more sparse lower down. Now, somewhere along here's the track I turn left on. I think it's this one. We'll give this one a go. Four-wheel drive up there. So, fingers crossed, this is not going to be too wet through here. Pull up some footage now, show you. Last trip I did through here, there was this long mud run, just ruts and mud. Went for several hundred metres. Was glad to get to the other side of it. So this will be only the second time I've attempted this track. Here's one of the first puddles. Yeah, you can see your way through them now. And that must be that rock I've hit a few times. So, going to take it pretty easy through here. So we're now running along the top of a ridge line. So the climb's finished. Pretty much yeah, reasonably steady from here on. Well, maybe this is the puddle I hit the rock in normally. Yeah. Well, now my fork cam's going. It's got a bit of mud sitting on it. So, I imagine those of you watching now understand why I like riding a 250. I rarely get my chance to wring its neck, and these are the sorts of trails I ride. So, light, talky, that's the go, that's what I want. And the CRF these days, she delivers. Low maintenance, tons of torque, just I'm really happy with it. I can just wind the throttle on and at incredibly low revs, and she does it. Alright, still going, haven't come off. What do you reckon about this one, Steve? You want to give this a go one weekend? Now she's dry, it wouldn't be too bad. Well, so far it's pretty good. I just like the fact that I can see what's in the puddles today. No snakes so far on today's trip. Been seeing a few this year. Most rides I go out I come across at least one. Yes, now imagine doing this when it's all underwater and mud, because that's what it was like last time I came through. It was a lot of guesswork going on. So I'm pretty happy with the tyre combination I've got these days. Once I got rid of the original tyres on the bike, oh, this one's a bit rough down here. Once I got rid of the original tyres, I've been going with Motos tyres. I started off with their Tractionator Enduro IT. Incredibly good tyre off-road for snotty shit, slippery mud and stuff, and good lateral stability. Very bloody noisy on road, which I didn't like. So I'm still running the Tractionator Enduro IT on the front. Still got a bit of life left in it yet. Got about I think it's done about 4,000 Ks, but mind you, your front doesn't usually wear that much. But on the back now, I've gone for the Motos Extreme Hybrid, and it's a bit like a trials tyre in its design. And one of the things about it is you can run them apparently at incredibly low pressures, you know, things like 9-8 psi. So how we're going to go through this one, eh? Yeah, I think we'll go on the side. Whoa. And so the thing about the Extreme Hybrid, well, number one, it's a lot quieter on the tarmac than the old Tractionator Enduro ID was. That thing used to howl like a banshee, so that's good. It means that on those bits where I am having to ride blacktop, my ears aren't being assaulted with the scream of knobby tyres. The other thing I'd say is really good about them is straight line drive. That stuff I just went back through there. That was probably 12 inches deep of clay, mud, and yeah, she spun a bit, but they self-clean really well and just drove me through. They don't have great lateral stability. They're a little bit skittish sideways. Once they break traction, they'll slide a bit, but they do. It's just a bit disconcerting. Once you get used to it, it's all right, because they don't ever lose it on you, and they also, you know, they bring themselves back in line pretty quick anyway. So, real fan of them, love them. That's what I'm going to be sticking with in future on the back. I'm tempted to give them a try when my front wheels finally had the gong, and see if they're as good on the front as they're doing for me on the back. But I'm pretty happy with my tyre setup these days. So we've pretty much been climbing again for a little bit. I had that steep downhill that was pretty tough, lots of loose rocks. And that's why they call this one the White Timber Trail. Don't know what sort of gum they are. They're not a stringy bark. Even though they've got that type of bark, they're nowhere near as thick. Maybe that's just because they're growing at altitude that happens, or it could be a different type. Don't know enough about my gum trees. But yes, as you can see, they got white looking trunks. So this is the White Timber Trail. Let's have a look at this next one. We go around that easy enough. pick your line pretty carefully. Tell you, looking at this, that's a miracle I never came off on the old suspension driving through that when it was puddles. There's so many barriers there you can hit. So what does everyone think of this trail, eh? It's pretty good. Again, I encourage everyone, come to the Huon Valley. Come to Tasmania first if you're not already here. And if you are, come down to the Huon Valley. If you want to get in touch, I'll show you around some trails. If you don't feel like getting in touch but you still want to know where the trails are, I can give you some, you can ask for them off of Facebook, Tassie Flybike, all one word. And I can send you then, yeah, the GPS track coordinates, like this track today, for example. I'm recording this. So, I'll post that later. And, yeah, you'll, like I said, I'll either guide you through some tracks, or if you'd rather and you want to do it solo, just get in touch and ask for the GPS stuff. I can certainly send it to you. Really not sure whether I'm on the right track. I'm sure I'll find out. I don't remember this. It looks as though I've made my way onto a new track. This is not one I've done before. We'll see where it ends up. Certainly a bit interesting, that's for sure. Pretty big tree. Great track. And that'd be the end of that then. Well, alright, so if you're following my track on the GPS, take the right hand fork, not the left hand one. unless you just want to go for a short look. It's pretty hard going, this stuff. There's a lot of sort of cricket ball sized loose rock. It's just enough to make your front wheel dance around a bit. Makes it a bit challenging to go too quick. Well, when you're as skilled a rider as I am, which is not very, I do alright. I get where I'm going. Just thinking this is going to bring me back to there's a track I come up which is a pretty rough little track, and it comes out onto a road that looks like this. And I'm keeping a pretty close eye out for it because I've got a feeling we're going to come across it soon. That's it, that's the track I come up. Right, so, well, that means you can go around the obstacle bit if the track's too wet, so you can still do this. Well, first snake. God, I'm such chicken shit. There's a side track up here I might take. I've had a go at it before and never been able to get through because it's been too wet, but it might be alright today. There's a little whoop-de-doo there in the corner. Haven't been through it since I've done the front suspension. It's very nice, I like it now. let's open her up. Alright, let's give this track a bit of a run. Oh, there's a tree falling down over it. I'm pretty sure I can still go there. So, last time I came up here, water was just running down this track like a little stream, and it's a pretty slippery base too. It's a bit dicey. It's nice and dry today, so perhaps I can get through on this one, because I've always turned back once I got to a couple of the really big slush holes and just went, nah, I don't need to get stuck. Because as usual, I'm riding on my own. It's good when I head out with a buddy though. It's been good that Steve's been heading out with me lately. Always enjoy a ride with a mate, and it's just a bit safer. Because they are very remote areas I go into generally. I've had mobile reception throughout most of this one, which is very rare for me. It doesn't happen every day. I hate it when you get stuck in a rut. Tried the old trick back there of having one wheel in one rut and the other one in the other. Got through it. It's always good when I find a new track. Makes a drive worthwhile. I just love it. It's the mystery of where this one's going to end up.